guys, I'm Tarisha and welcome back to my life. Been a while, hasn't it? I love how I always say that. That's how I start all my YouTube videos. Well, my last YouTube video was on 9th of November and it's been a very long time. So I thought, let's get you up to speed with what is going on in my life, because I'm gonna be back on YouTube and I know I say it every time. But I mean it. I mean it, because I have some stuff ready. I have some stuff ready to go. I have people can help me through this now. And we got this. But basically, let me catch you up to speed with what's been going on. The last time you saw me was in November 9, 2022, where I was talking all about this new home studio that I've gotten. It's on rent and how happy I was, and how I signed a 6-month verbal lease with my landlord because his main goal was to sell the house and we needed the house on an urgent basis. So we told him, okay, we're good. You just need to tell us a month before you want us to move out and we'll do it. So I moved out of my family house to be consistent and have this new space where I can be all creative. But little did I know, moving into this rented apartment would be the biggest issue of the year, because it got sold as soon as I stepped into the house and I had only 6 months in the house. Post that, November was pretty much not my month, I must say. Even though some crazy things were happening in my life, I personally was not feeling that great. I put out a podcast at that time and you can check it out for more deeper knowledge into my feelings at that point. But I think the happiest memory of November has to be when I went to IKEA with me and my sisters, and we had this massive laughing fit in between of IKEA and we just shopped randomly for the house without a to-do list, and that was a really fun day. End of November, I went to Bangalore for my first ever business panel, where I spoke to a lot of people from the business side of the industry, and I was like, oh my god, a little intimidated. But I also made some amazing new friends in Bangalore who are a huge part of my life now, and I also ended up planning an impromptu international trip with them. Cut to the last week of November and the first week of December, where I spent the whole of 2 weeks trying to convince my parents to let me go on a trip with my internet friends who I had met in real life, but they were still strangers to my parents, and somehow they let me go. And that's how I went on my first ever international trip on 2nd of December 2022. We went to Dubai and my tickets were booked a week ago, and I had gone with people I did not know, but it was so much fun. And this trip would be something I would never forget. We traveled all over Dubai. We went to Abu Dhabi. We saw so many different places, and in totality, we just had so much fun. After the trip, it was pretty much just existing, creating content and living life, and also celebrating the new year. Then we said hello to 2023. If you've been following me for a while, you know for a fact that I was kind of involved in college stuff, and 13 to 15 January was when I had my college fest, and it was kind of like an emotional roller coaster because I am graduating and this was my last year to do something like this with all of my friends around me. And we had a blast. That entire week, I think we stayed in the college since morning to night and just doing random stuff, not even working half the time, but just having the time of our lives. And kind of got pretty emotional when it kind of ended. But after that, some news came in the last week of January, when I was called by my landlord and asked to empty the house by the 31st of January because the people he sold the house to needed the house urgently. So I had to move out of my house in a week. So the last week of January went into house hunting and figuring out what are we going to do. We did end up finding a house. Spoiler, it's the house I'm recording this video in. But I was only allowed to move here on the 1st of March. So I had 1 whole month. And luckily we got an apartment right next to my old apartment. So on the 1st of February, I packed all my stuff and moved from apartment number 3501 to apartment number 3502, and this became my second rented apartment, which I only had for a month. February again went pretty chill. We were just kind of shifting in, soaking it all in. Everything we had to do for this second rented apartment, and also solidifying the paperwork for the third apartment which I was going to move into in March. But last week of February is when life went kind of crazy, because I was supposed to go to VH1 Supersonic, which is a music festival that happened in Pune, and I was meant to go with my sisters, but one day before leaving they fell sick. So I took my bags and the burden of my last year assignments with me to Pune, and we went by a bus, and it was more for like journalists, but there were a few content creators who were acquaintances. I did not know them very well. But little did I know we were going to become great friends, because on 23rd of February, when I was on the road from Mumbai to Pune, is when I get a call from my manager saying, Taran, you verified on Instagram. And this is a moment where I was like, what? Because I always expected myself to get verified around like maybe my family or close friends, or just be in maybe like a 30-minute distance from them and not on a whole ass highway, which was like miles away from my closest people. And I was surrounded by unknown people, but I'm glad that these were the unknown people I was surrounded by, because they screamed with me. Even though they did not know anything about how important this is to me, they still cheered for me. They still were there dealing with my, oh my god, what is happening moments. And it was really sweet. But I did end up FaceTiming all of my friends and family and scrapped along with them. And somehow the next day, my two other best friends showed up to Pune and we enjoyed the Ashwin Supersonic. As soon as I came back from Supersonic though, we had to pack all of our stuff again and move to our third rented apartment, which is where I've been for the past 2 months. While we were shifting houses, I also had to catch a flight to Bangalore because I was going for the Under 25 Summit in the first weekend of March. And being at Under 25 was crazy because Bangalore itself is a place I absolutely love and holds a lot of importance. But Under 25 had all of your favorite creators under one roof, and it was so much fun to just sit there and talk to everyone and just having a fun weekend. But as soon as I got done with 2 of my panels there, I took a flight at 3 AM, landed by 6 AM, came back home, reached college at 10 AM with 0 hours of sleep in the past 24 hours. Anyway, assignment did go well, and pretty much of March went into submitting assignments, finishing up work, studying, because I had my final year graduation exams going on. April was the perfect month. We just got done with college. I graduated, 3 years of college over just like that. I am also a COVID-19 college student, so not too attached to college, but still attached to college. Can we? Somewhere in between. But yeah, college got over and I was going to my second ever international trip. But the catch was, it was my first ever sponsored trip. And I think since the day I started content creation, it was one of the things I always wanted to do is get paid to travel. And that is exactly what happened in Thailand. And I couldn't have been more happier. I went with a bunch of unknown people and just 3 other people that I knew. But it showed me so many different perspectives. We saw so many beautiful beaches, jumped off of boats, swam in the ocean, saw beautiful islands and fire shows. Thailand was a vibe in its own, and it made me the happiest person right there. But now that I was back home from the trip, I was just absorbing everything, started setting up this house because I still hadn't done it very well, and also just got back to work. Spent a lot of time after Thailand prepping up for my YouTube channel, which I am reviving right now. And I just wanted to let you know what has happened in the past 6 months so that I can take you along with the ride for the coming months. What's going to happen with YouTube, you ask? There's going to be a lot of change. There's going to be a lot of different kind of content. There's going to be a lot of different type of editing because I am hiring editors to edit my YouTube videos because I want to be consistent, but in order to be consistent, I gotta take some help. So welcome back to my life, and I just want to say thank you for being here, thank you for being understanding, thank you for being patient with all of these phases of mine. But I want to do YouTube because I feel it's such a great place to connect with you guys and actually have a full-blown conversation where I talk on the camera and you talk in the comments and then I talk back in the comments. So if you have anything else you want to know what has happened, or if you want to see any particular videos, we have a few moments vlog from the past 6 months, so I'm going to be releasing those vlogs right now. But apart from that, if you have any type of content that you want me to put out, any type of things you want to see, just comment below, just talk to me, and I will try to give you what you want. And I really want to work on YouTube because this is actually where I started off and this is where my heart lies. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed catching up with me, and yeah, I will see you real soon. Thank you so much for being here. Bye.